Hi, I'm Sergeant Rice. My name is Tim Rice. I work for the Animal Law Enforcement Department here at Humane Society of the Pikes Peak region, and I'm located in our Centennial Division up north. Everyday duties, initially coming in is setting up our day, getting dispatch pulled up, the calls that we already have pending, going through our voicemails we had overnight after hours, and then starting to answer calls throughout the day, and getting officers ready to go out on the road and hit the calls that come into us. So I was born and raised in Colorado, grew up in the Aurora and Centennial area, went to Eagle Crest High School, which is in the Centennial. Luckily was fortunate enough to graduate from there and get a wrestling scholarship, which led me to Hastings College in Hastings, Nebraska, where I graduated with a Bachelor of Arts in Sociology with a criminal justice emphasis. And then after college, I went to Kansas City, worked for a veterinarian as a vet assistant for a little bit, and then came back to Colorado, where I got my job here at the Humane Society of the Pikes Peak region. I'm very typical for animal control officers, but I grew up watching Animal Cops on Animal Planet, primarily Houston Animal Cops. My hero is Jim Bowler. I thankfully get to go to a lot of trainings with him. He works with Code 3 Associates in Longmont, Colorado. But yeah, they really inspired me to get into this line of work and grow up, and I continue with that. That's why I chose criminal justice as my college major, and then went into that veterinary field to get the animal experience, which all prepared me to get my job here. So my favorite part of the job is our daily positive interactions with humans. There's nothing better than picking up somebody's stray animal and returning it back to them and seeing how happy they are and thankful that their animal's okay and back home to them. So again, the hardest part is humans as well. When you hear animal law enforcement, a lot of people think that you're going to be dealing with animals all the time, and that's all we do. But I'd say the majority of what we do is speak with people and deal with them regarding animal-related issues and incidents. And they can vary very well from, you could get the nicest person all the way up to a very dangerous, aggressive, and volatile person. And then we're also delivering bad news to people and having to be there to be their support system when we have to bring bad news to them, such as finding their pet deceased or notifying them, due to an incident their animal is involved in, we have to take the animal away. That human interaction can be very difficult. I would say would be my wrestling coach in high school, Sparky Adair. He taught criminal justice in high school. High school is very fortunate to have that class, but it got to put me through a ringer of various different jobs involved in the criminal justice field. We also discussed animal control, and I got to learn a little bit more about what entails rather than just animal cops. It's not all helping animals, it's a lot of varying different aspects of the job. Yeah, so in the state of Colorado and then a lot of other states, the basic requirements are to be 21 years of age, have a valid Colorado driver's license, good driving record, and then a high school degree or GED. But it's developed more and more into a profession over the years, and a lot of animal control agencies are looking for specialized training or experience in some form of criminal justice career field or animal-related field. So the biggest advice I would give for someone is to come into it realizing that it's not all sunshine and rainbows, that you're there to help or save an animal every day. There's a lot of difficult tasks you have to deal with. Other things to look into aside from criminal justice and animal related fields is customer service. I did a lot of customer service throughout college and high school, whether that be fast food or retail, and you're dealing with a lot of people that can get irate over small things, and it's helped me a lot in this field in being prepared and dealing with the people that sometimes do get aggravated with us. The case started off with Officer Paul Karwoski, who was on call that night, but he quickly realized he needed more assistance with this case. It was in Parker. The situation was 2 individuals had been arrested. They were only people living at this residence, and they ended up being in jail for 18 days. During those 18 days, they didn't tell anybody that they had 21 dogs on their property and nobody to care for them. Eventually a neighbor, or it was actually their landlord, came out to figure out why they hadn't paid their bill and why their electricity was shut off. And when he got there, he discovered their animals. When Paul got on scene, he discovered that 11 of the animals were deceased, and then 10 of them were alive but in extremely bad condition. I got out there to help him so he could leave the scene and transport the live dogs to the veterinarian, and then I stayed on scene and documented the scene so we could get justice for the living and the deceased animals. It was a very tough, difficult case at first, especially with the amount of animals and the condition that both living and deceased were in. But in the end, we did get justice for their owners for them not reporting the incident and allowing somebody to get help for them. But the biggest story was 9 of the dogs ended up surviving. Paul ended up adopting one of them, Kimba, and then we had another employee here, Kelly Likes, adopted hers, Louie. And I get to see them update on Facebook every day. But also all the other dogs that got to go out to good homes. It was a really good story for how difficult and sad the case was and how much stress it put me and Paul under. Just to see those results in the end really helped us out.